Hey knitters, welcome to episode 221 of the Knitty McPurly podcast. I'm your host, Devin Ventry. You can find me at KnittyMcPurly.com. I'm Knitty McPurly on Instagram. And if you want to email me, I am Devin at KnittyMcPurly.com. Welcome to the podcast. Happy Easter. He is risen. He is risen indeed. I'm actually recording this on Good Friday. So we just came from Stations of the Cross and we're kind of steeped in that right now, but very much looking forward to celebrating Easter on Sunday. It's going to be just great. I'm drinking some tea this lovely afternoon out of my South Dakota mug from Anne. Hi, Anne. This is like a sweet tangerine tea. It's pretty good. It's got caffeine in it because I just needed a little bit to get me through the day because, Good Friday. You might notice that I am wearing a new sweater. Check it. This is the Traveler Shell that I have been working on forever. I did a different stitch pattern, which you can see. I'm going to talk more about this. Got to be by the microphone. I'm going to talk more about this sweater in the middle of the podcast, but I did make it out of Frankfurt fingering held together with Munich mohair in the pewter colorway. So I'm so happy with it. I could not be happier. This outfit that I'm wearing it with is not my favorite outfit to wear with it, but it is the one that I can wear today because it's a little warm. I would love it with some jeans and a long sleeve shirt. Like that's my top pick. But it's too hot for that right now. I wore it this morning, but then it warmed up. So I'll talk more about this sweater as the podcast goes on. But for now, let's get on to progress and shop news. The shop is like closed this week. Not really. It's not really closed. It's open. You can place orders, but my family and I are going out of town. So any orders that you place this weekend through next weekend will get shipped on April 28th. So Advent calendars are up on the website. If you've gotten a Knitty McPurly Advent calendar in the past and you loved it and you feel like you need another one for this year, for 2025, they are available now to pre-order. If you order them now, they will ship at the beginning of November. If you want to add on something else to your order, I would ask that you place a separate order. Otherwise, they're all everything's going to ship together in November. So if you want, that random skein of the color of the month, if you want that now, place it as a separate order. If you already placed your order and you combined things, let me know if you want those to ship sooner than November, and we can work something out. Okay. This year's Advent calendar theme is "For God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." And it is the world theme. As I'm talking, you are looking at these beautiful inspiration pictures that give us an idea of what we're going to be seeing in the Advent calendar. It's going to be a lot of blue and green. So if you're a blue and green lover, this is perfect for you. Of course, there'll be pops of yellows and pinks and purples and oranges and all the colors of creation. But it is going to mainly be blue and green. There will be 25 20-gram minis that will span many complementary colors, fading from one into the next. Now, something new this year that I'm doing that I haven't done before is offering it both in Frankfurt fingering and Dubrovnik DK. So if you want a fingering weight Advent calendar, you can get that. If you want a DK weight, you can get that, depending on what you want to make with them. So that is available now. It'll be up for a few more weeks, and then I will close the pre-order. So if you want an Advent calendar, look out for Future You. Future You in November is going to go, why is everyone else opening up these amazing Advent calendars and why didn't I get myself one? So look out for Future You and pre-order the Advent calendar so that you can have a beautiful yarny Advent too. Okay, you guys, today is the last day of the Flutterbutt Knit Along, April 19th. We've been talking about this sweater for the past 6 weeks, I'd say. See, here it is. I'm too hot. I knew that would happen. We've been talking about this sweater for the past 6 weeks. I am so happy with my Flutterbutts that I made. The pink one I wore out when I went out with my husband last night, and it just looked great. Like, I just love it. I'm so happy with how they came out. I'm going to be putting up some glamour shots, and these are glamour shots. Look at how incredibly beautiful all of these knitters look in their gorgeous sweaters. Every single one of them look like they are wearing a very flattering garment. People knit them in all different ways. I'd say most people knit them longer, particularly in the ruffles, and it just looks great. They look so beautiful. I could not be happier with how these glamour shots came out. Thank you so much to those of you who joined in, to those of you who finished, and to those of you who, I'm sorry, did not. If you didn't finish, you still can. You still can. You can't get in on the knit along prizes, but the real prize is getting an amazing top in the end. So, because the knit along ends on April 19th at midnight, I won't be choosing winners on this podcast. I think what I'll do is choose them on Easter Sunday, and then I will let those people know on Instagram that they won. I'm going to be choosing 3 winners, and I don't have a million finishers. So you have a very high probability of winning. That said, if you're not one of the 3, I'm really sorry. Because like I said, there were not a ton of people who finished and posted their glamour shot. But I will be announcing those on Instagram on Sunday, April 20th, which is the first day of our next knit along, which is the Hey Sailor knit along. You guys, I picked my colors and it was so hard. Even down to the last minute, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I wanted Jovis, my white, which is a warmer white, a cream white. I wanted that as the main color, but the contrast color, I was between River Rock and Thistle and Fontaine, and I love Roxette. Orange is not my color, but I love it. Meadow. I mean, I could have put it with any of the colors. I thought about the sweater that I wanted to wear, and I ultimately chose Fontaine. So I have Jovis and I have Fontaine ready to go on my trip because we leave tomorrow, Easter Sunday. I know it's Friday for me, but I'm posting it on Saturday. We leave on Easter Sunday, and so I am going to be knitting the Hey Sailor top in the car. I have my little, I don't know why I always gravitate toward this bag. I just really like it. But I have all of my stuff in here, all packed up, got all the needles and the notions and everything I need to start my Hey Sailor. I cannot wait. It's going on vacation with me, and hopefully I will get a lot done that I can show you next week. Now, let's say you're looking at all of these amazing, beautiful knitters in their Flutterbutt shirts and thinking, I miss the knit along, but I really want to make one of them. If you want, you can still get those kits in the shop. I still have a few colors left on Sorrento Slub. And of course, you can use any fingering weight yarn that you want to. But if you want the Sorrento Slub in the kits, there are some available on the website. Also, same thing for the Hey Sailor kits. Those are still up and available. If you want to order them, it just won't be in time to cast on for the knit along on Sunday. But again, it's running from April 20th to June 1st, so you have a lot of time in there. So if you want them, they are there. Okay. All right, I said all of that. So I did finish my Traveler shell. You guys, I feel like I worked on this just forever, but I could not be happier with it. I love the 3-needle bind off. Let's see if I can show that a little bit better. I love how the 3-needle bind off came out on the shoulder. I love how she has the drop in the shoulder. The drop is everything. It makes the sleeve fit so well. Now, again, I did do a different stitch pattern If you wanted to do one like mine, what you want to do is use the stitch pattern from the Timbo vest, which is a broken rib. It's just you knit one side and the other you knit on the wrong side, I think, and on the right side you just knit one purl one, and that's the stitch pattern. And I just did that instead, and I followed all the rest of the directions. Now, also, it is missing the pockets, and it's not even blocked. Look how good it looks, and I didn't even block it. You can see it's a little bit wavy here because it's unblocked, but I love how it came out. Yeah, I also left the pockets off, mainly because it was done and I wanted to wear it. But I might not put the pockets on. I might just leave it like it is because I like it. It's good. I don't think it needs anything else. I also love the fit. So I think that when I do block it, I will mainly be steam blocking it just to give it a light block so that it doesn't end up stretching out too much, which I don't think it would. It would stretch a little. I just don't know how much it would stretch. So the bind off that is called for on the sleeves and on the front band is a tubular bind off, which I had not done before. It is very complicated. It is a sewn bind off, and it has like 6 steps that you just keep repeating, but it's a lot of steps. It's not just a little bit. So I did this on both sleeves. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see the bind off, but I think, yeah, it's got a halo a little bit there. It's mediocre. I think it is medium. It's fine. It's a lot of work for a bind off that is fine. And so when I got to the front band, I thought, let me look at what else is out there. What's another one that would be good to do if I didn't want to do the tubular bind off? And I came across the Icelandic bind off. I'm going to link the Very Pink Knits video below, both of the tubular bind off and the Icelandic bind off. If you're interested, check especially the Icelandic one because it is so easy to work. It is so much easier than the tubular bind off, and I thought it looked a lot better. So I did the Icelandic bind off on the front band. It just looks, it's hard to see because of the halo in the yarn, but you can see it really well on the Very Pink Knits video because she does it where she's knit the swatch in one color and then the bind off is in a contrast color, and it just makes this almost very small rolled I-cord-ish edge really, really pretty and so easy to do. Now, she is showing this on a piece of stockinette, but I watched other videos and found that if you're doing a 1x1 rib like I was here, you do it exactly the same way. You don't change it at all. You bind off in the same way, whether it's stockinette or the 1x1 rib. I highly recommend it. Let me know if you've had any experience with the tubular bind off or the Icelandic bind off and what you think of them. Like if I find one that I like, I tend to stick with it. And I didn't really have a good stretchy bind off that I liked, but Icelandic is it. It is so stretchy. From what I understand, it's good for toe up socks because it's hard to get that cuff ribbing to be good. But let me know. Have you tried that? I have not. This is my first time using it, but that's what I heard anyway. All right, let's move on to the comments section. Let me refresh your memory about Lisa and her husband. Hi, Lisa. Lisa knit her husband some socks, which he never wore. So he asked for a hat because he liked to take walks. But then when he took the walks, they live in California and his head got too hot. So he didn't wear the hat either. Okay, so this is where we are with Lisa and her husband's knitting. Recently, Lisa's husband says, I want you to knit me a sweater. And I think Lisa and I both kind of had that first reaction is, oh, you want to knit a sweater? Yay, that's great. But then you're like, wait a minute. Are you going to like the sweater? Are you going to wear the sweater? And so we put that question out last week and we got many comments. Overwhelmingly, people chose don't knit the sweater. I think don't knit the sweater won by a 6, I think it was 6-2. 2 people said knit the sweater for the husband. 6 people said don't knit the sweater for the husband. So let's go through our comments. Max6050 says, Lisa, girl, buy him a sweater at the store and replace the interior tag with a For You tag and call it a day. Shannon Hobbs says, Lisa, I say go for it. Make him a super cozy sweater, and then if he doesn't wear it, steal it for yourself, and you'll have the coziest thing to wear on days it actually gets chilly around here. Shannon must also be a Californian. Anasam 5009 says, Lisa, if it were me, hubby would have to ask me several times for a hand knit sweater before I would even start to consider knitting him one. Annette Cheney says, Lisa, buy him a sweater. A store-bought one is what he's picturing anyway. I imagine he saw one online that he liked and thought, hey, I should ask my wife to make me one to make her feel better about the hat, ... and socks. Oh gosh, is that all the sweater ones? Oh, the Random Life of Katie says, if the sweater is something I might wear, if he doesn't, then I would make it. If it's not, forget it. My fiance wants a sweater and wears the hats and socks I have made for him all the time. Congratulations, Katie. I didn't know you were engaged. Congrats. If for some reason he ends up hating it, my brother-in-law is the same size and adores what I have knit for him. That is always nice when you have a collective group of knit-worthy people that you can kind of pass between. That's delightful. Nancy Morgan says, Lisa, buy him a sweater. And if he wears it and still wants you to knit him one, then you can proceed. One last chance. Lori says, Lisa, I think you need to knit your husband the sweater. If he doesn't wear it, forgive and love him anyway and never hold it against him. That's delightful. I don't think I am a good enough person to do that. I think I would resent it. Luckily, my husband has never asked me for anything ever. S.K. Hoyt says, love Yvonne's idea. I want to see her shawl, the Yarn Regret shawl from last week. Chris says, hey, can't wait for the Hey Sailor Cow. Your yarn kits hit gauge exactly. Awesome. That's good to know because I was not going to swatch. Elaine from the UK. Hi, Elaine, says, great fashion show. Your sweater looks good on you and it's very adaptable for many outfits. I am in my late 70s and really feel the cold now much as I did before menopause. The inspiration for your yarn advent is a beautiful choice. Thank you so much, Elaine. It's good to know that I will get cold again because I would rather be cold than hot. I just am tired of being hot. Katie B. Gryffindor Chaser says, the neutral Flutterbutt came out so cute. I really, really like the small ruffle. The fashion show was inspired. And your grandma's rug there in the rectangular shape totally gave a runway vibe. That is awesome. Did I read them all? Okay, I read all the ones that I picked. Thank you so much for leaving me a comment. I really, really appreciate it. All right. Knitting fantasies. So I chose 2 summer knits, and some of you might think that these are young person knits. And to that, I have to say, bosh. Just no thank you. I love these and I would totally wear them. And you should too, because they are beautiful and they look super comfortable. So the first pick is called the 7 p.m. Tank. I think that this is really, really cute. And it does look good on this particularly non-busty person. But again, you could make it to have sufficient coverage. If you needed it to come up higher or if you needed thicker straps, you could always adjust it to accommodate what you need. I think this is beautiful and I would totally make it. It comes in 9 sizes and is in a fingering weight, and I think it is super, super pretty. Now, my next pick is ultra vintage. This pattern is from the 70s. It is a tube top and it only comes in 1 size. So there is that. It comes in a 34-inch size, which I'm a 35, so I feel like I could totally knit this and pull it off. Although you could just use the gauge to adjust it and make it a little bit bigger. I love the stripes. I just think it is so pretty. I would totally knit this and I would totally wear it. Also in fingering weight. If I were going to knit this, I would do it in Black Forest Cake, Meadow, and Jovis, just like the colors shown here. I just think it is so, so cute. All right, moving right along so here's what happened. You guys, I have this story from the wonderful, the prolific Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Thank you so much for another story. I really appreciate it. After this story, I have one more story in the kitty. So I need you to send me your knitting story. If something crazy happened, or you learned something new and it was special to you, or you had a special knitting friend, any knitting story that you would like to share with us, we would appreciate it. Sorry. So send me a knitting story, Devin with an I, at KnittyMcPurly.com. You can type it out and I'll read it. You can send me a video. You can send an audio recording. Whatever you want, I would love to share it on the podcast. So don't leave us hanging. Don't hold back on us, because this is people's favorite part and we can't let them down. All right. This is from Rachel. Since we have been talking about whether or not our husbands are knit-worthy, I thought I'd chime in with my experience. My husband happens to be a very knit-worthy guy and has worn the hats and fingerless mitts I've made him over the years with pride. A few years ago, I knit a flax pullover for him that sadly grew a lot with blocking and came down to his mid-thigh. Oh, that's terrible. It's a dress at that point. Mind you, he's 6'1", tall, with broad shoulders and a 54-inch chest. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of yarn either way. Early in February, I got an email from him titled, "Hey babe, can you make this for me?" with a picture of a dude wearing a heavily cabled cardigan with a shawl collar. Naturally, I asked where he got the picture, and he said he Googled dudes wearing cardigans with cables, which made me chuckle. So, I put my 27 years of knitting experience to work and immediately went to Jared Flood's Ravelry page. Genius. That's what I would do too. I've always shied away from Brooklyn tweed patterns because they tend to be knit in pieces and seamed, which is totally not my jam. But I knew he specifically excels in designing cabled cardigans and sweaters for men, so it seems like a logical place to start. I perused for a few minutes and stumbled upon the Timberline pattern. It was close to the random picture my husband sent me, so I read the pattern synopsis. Lo and behold, the cardigan happens to be knit bottom up in one piece to the underarms, where you split to work the fronts and backs separately and then seam them at the shoulders. Score! I've knit this construction before for myself, and I was sure that I could handle it, even with knitting the sleeves separately and seaming them into the arm size. Confident in my choice, I showed the design to my husband, who heartily approved. He asked for a deep green, dark blue, or black. The flax sweater was dark blue, and a heavily cabled worsted weight cardigan in black was absolutely not happening. I get it. You could do it if it was like a hand dye and it had like some variation, kind of tonality. But if it is like hardcore black, oh my gosh, no way. So I chose Knit Picks Swish Worsted in Lost Lake Heather, a colorway and base I've knit with in the past. Then I bought the $16 pattern. Wow! Not that it's not worth it. I know what goes into knitting a pattern, and I get it. I think $16 is fair. It's just not really what people are paying these days. And quickly realized as I read through the 36 pages of it that this was likely going to be the magnum opus of my knitting career. Fast forward to March 21st, his birthday, which gave me enough time to work up the courage to start this process by casting on a sleeve. And it wasn't just any cast on. It was, of course, an Italian tubular cast on that has you rearrange stitches after the setup rows to work the 2x2 ribbing. And of course, my first attempt looked like a dog's breakfast, so I ripped it out and tried again, but somehow cast on too many stitches. Thankfully, the third try was perfect, and off I went knitting 2.5 inches of 2x2 ribbing. Then came the setup rounds for the cable design. I very quickly came to the conclusion that the cables were pretty simple to execute, while the pattern reading required super intense focus and is what was going to make this the most challenging knit I've ever attempted. I found that too with Brooklyn tweed patterns. They are difficult. They're not beginner patterns, the ones that I've done anyway. Upon finishing the cable setup rounds, I decided to knit the sleeves at the same time because I didn't want to have to read the sleeve instructions twice. Genius. Also, you ensure that they're both exactly the same. So I ordered a second set of size 8, 5mm, 12-inch circulars and worked the second sleeve up to the same point as the first. That's all the progress I've made thus far, as the passing of my childhood best friend's mom on March 26th derailed any ability to apply the intense focus this pattern requires. So the magnum opus is on hold while I process and make sense of the loss of my second mom. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rachel. I will absolutely keep you updated with progress milestones, though. In the meantime, I'm working on another Kyler shawl, a weekender light for my eldest daughter, and yet another Williamsburg cowl for me. That is great, Rachel. I love that you're doing that. I really want to see pictures of this sweater as it progresses. It sounds amazing. It makes me feel like I want to knit one of those Brooklyn tweed cabled sweaters. Of course, I would knit it for myself because my husband's not knitworthy. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for sharing that story. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Easter. If you follow my personal account on Instagram, it's Devin Ventry, and it's a private account, but you're more than welcome to follow me. If I can see that you're a knitter, I'm happy to have you follow me. I just have it private to keep the creeps out. So feel free to request to follow me if you want to see our family vacation pictures. And I hope you have a great week. I'm very excited to start the Hey Sailor knit along. I hope you'll join me, and I will see you next week. All right. Bye, knitters.